The gala was silent, until a billionaire slapped the wrong woman and triggered the downfall nobody saw coming. Nobody at the gala expected the night to explode like this. The evening had begun like every other elite celebration. Glittering chandeliers dripping with crystals, gold-lined walls reflecting soft candlelight, and the hum of orchestral music floating through the air. Cameras flashed every few seconds as celebrities, politicians, CEOs, and old-money families posed in their designer outfits. It was the annual Kingsworth Charity Gala, a night where billionaires pretended to care while quietly competing over who could appear the most generous. But beneath the glamour was tension. The Kingsworth family ruled the event every year, strutting through the hall like royalty. People shifted aside when they walked past, lowering their voices, bowing their heads as if the family owned the ground they stepped on. Then it happened. Eleanor Kingsworth, sharp-tongued, silver-haired, and feared by anyone who needed her influence, stepped forward with narrowed eyes. She stared at the young black woman standing confidently near the center of the hall in a stunning burgundy gown. The woman wasn't intimidated. She stood tall, composed, almost too calm for Eleanor's liking. Without warning, Eleanor raised her hand and struck her across the face. The slap echoed like a gunshot. A ripple of shock froze the room. Conversations cut mid-sentence. A waiter dropped a tray of glasses. Gasps burst from every corner of the hall as the music screeched to a halt. Phones shot up instantly. People whispered fiercely. Did she just slap her? Is she crazy? Who was that woman? Is someone recording this? The young woman didn't step back. She didn't cry. She simply placed a hand on her cheek, her expression calm, but her eyes sharp, unblinking. That quiet confidence sent a wave of unease through the crowd. Everyone knew the Kingsworths were powerful. Everyone also assumed the woman in the burgundy gown was just a guest, someone out of place, someone without protection, someone the Kingsworths could humiliate without consequence. They had no idea who she really was. And in just 5 minutes, their world would collapse. Because while the Kingsworths saw a woman they believed they could push aside, the city's most powerful institutions saw something entirely different. The one person capable of ending the Kingsworth dynasty with a single decision. The slap that was meant to silence her would become the spark that burned their billion-dollar empire to ashes, right in front of hundreds of witnesses. Her name was Dr. Naomi Carter, a world-renowned economist whose research reshaped global markets, and whose company, Carter Dynamics, had grown from a tiny startup into one of the fastest-rising tech finance giants in the country. She had advised governments, mentored Fortune 500 executives, and built innovations that entire industries relied on. But tonight, she wasn't here to show off her power. She attended the gala as a quiet guest of honor, invited privately by the museum director to deliver the keynote speech. The invitation wasn't announced publicly, partly because the director wanted to surprise the audience with a star they respected but rarely saw. Naomi preferred to blend in, observe, and enjoy the art. But the Kingsworth family didn't know any of that. To them, she wasn't a CEO, a scholar, or a global leader. She was simply a woman they didn't recognize. A woman they believed didn't belong in their carefully curated circle. The confrontation started innocently, or so it seemed. Eleanor Kingsworth, the matriarch whose reputation for cruelty was almost legendary, approached Naomi with a stiff smile. She accused Naomi of standing too close to a sculpture the Kingsworths had donated, a sculpture that, ironically, Naomi herself had helped the museum secure funding for. Naomi remained polite. "I'm just reading the plaque," she said calmly, stepping back a single inch. But to Eleanor, that inch wasn't enough. Her pride couldn't tolerate anyone who didn't obey immediately. Her entitlement flared. Her temper snapped. And before anyone could react, her hand flew across Naomi's face. A hush fell. Naomi didn't sway. She didn't stumble. She didn't cry out. She simply lifted her chin and locked eyes with Eleanor. Her stillness was unnerving. Her silence louder than any scream. Around them, whispers shot through the crowd like sparks on dry grass. Is someone recording this? She really slapped her. Is she insane? Who is that woman? Naomi didn't answer them. She didn't need to. Instead, she spoke directly to Eleanor, her voice soft enough to force the room to lean in. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. And the way she said it, slow, steady, almost pitying, sent a chill through everyone watching. What mistake? Why did she sound so sure? What power did she hold? Nobody understood the weight of her words. Not yet. Just then, the museum director rushed forward, his face drained of all color. His footsteps echoed sharply across the marble floor, slicing through the stunned silence. "Naomi, I'm so sorry," he blurted out, his voice shaking. Then he turned to the crowd, lifting his hands as if trying to calm a wildfire. "Everyone, this is Dr. Naomi Carter," he announced, breathless. "Our major partner for the Global Innovation Grant." The room fell into an almost supernatural silence. The guests froze in mid-breath. The Kingsworth family went rigid, their entitlement melting into terror. Cameras zoomed in, capturing every twitch of their faces. The director swallowed hard, clearly panicking now. Dr. Carter's company is set to control the new $1 billion digital infrastructure expansion across the state. His voice cracked under the weight of the moment. "And we were planning to award the Kingsworth Foundation the management rights, depending on Dr. Carter's approval." A ripple of shock moved across the hall like a wave crashing against stone. The Kingsworths, who moments ago stood tall and smug, looked as if the floor had dropped beneath them. Only now did they realize the truth. The woman they had insulted, belittled, and slapped was the one person holding the fate of their financial empire in her hands. Eleanor's lips trembled as she tried to recover her dignity. She reached toward Naomi, forcing a weak smile. "My dear, this is all a big misunderstanding." But Naomi stepped back, raising her hand slightly. The simple motion shut Eleanor up instantly. "No," Naomi said, her voice calm but cold. "People like you only understand consequences." The billionaire family stiffened, swallowing hard. Naomi reached into her clutch and took out her phone. She tapped the screen once. A document opened, its header displaying the Kingsworth Foundation logo in bold blue. She turned the screen slightly so the cameras could catch it. "I was supposed to finalize your contract tonight," she said clearly, her voice carrying across the hall. "A contract worth $1 billion. Gasps erupted around her. She slowly scanned the room, ensuring every guest, every reporter, every onlooker heard her next words. "But I cannot, and will not, trust public funds to a family that mistreats others based on race, status, or appearance." Eleanor's face went ghost white. Naomi turned toward the director, her decision final. "I'm officially withdrawing my approval." For a moment, there was absolute stillness. Then the room exploded, shouts, camera flashes, reporters pushing forward, guests whispering furiously as the Kingsworth dynasty collapsed in real time. Within minutes, the news hit social media like a lightning strike. Billionaire family slaps black CEO at gala, loses $1 billion contract on the spot. The headline spread across every platform. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, news sites, even international outlets. Millions watched the videos over and over. The slap, the stunned silence. Naomi's calm, devastating announcement. Clips from different angles surfaced. Guests recording from balconies, from behind champagne towers, from across the ballroom. Each video only made the Kingsworths look worse. Outside the museum, the scene turned chaotic. Reporters shoved microphones toward anyone exiting. "Did you see it happen? Is it true she canceled their contract? Is Dr. Carter still inside?" What did the Kingsworths say afterward? People coming out of the gala were buzzing, some frantic, some thrilled, all eager to talk. And while the public devoured every second of the scandal, the Kingsworth family was fighting a disaster unlike anything they had ever faced. Inside the museum, chaos rippled through the once elegant halls. Top investors of the Kingsworth Foundation received real-time alerts. Notifications of stocks dropping, messages from partners demanding explanations, warnings from lawyers, and emergency board meeting requests. Sponsors were already backing away, not wanting to be associated with a racially charged scandal. All of this unfolded in minutes. Naomi didn't raise her voice once. She didn't turn back. She didn't let the chaos shake her. She simply walked toward the exit with her head high, her posture calm and controlled. Graceful in a moment when the Kingsworths were falling apart behind her. She carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who knew exactly what she was doing, someone who had earned her power and didn't need to flaunt it. But she wasn't done yet. As she stepped outside into the flashing lights of dozens of cameras, a journalist pushed forward. "Dr. Carter," he called out breathlessly, "do you have any message for the Kingsworths?" Naomi paused, lifting her chin slightly. Then she smiled, not cruelly, but knowingly. "Yes," she said. "Power is temporary. Character is permanent." That single sentence exploded across the internet. Within hours, it became a global catchphrase, quoted, reposted, turned into graphics and TikTok edits. People praised her composure, her integrity, her refusal to bow to wealth or intimidation. By the next morning, the fallout was complete. The Kingsworth Foundation's board demanded Eleanor's immediate resignation. Longtime sponsors severed contracts overnight. The family's PR team labeled it the biggest scandal of the decade. And the billion-dollar deal? Forever gone. Irrecoverable. All of it traced back to one moment. One slap they thought would go unnoticed. One woman they thought they could silence. Instead, it was the moment that shattered their empire. Naomi returned to her office the next morning with the same calm confidence she had carried out of the museum. Sunlight filtered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of her penthouse office, casting a warm glow across the shelves lined with awards, research journals, and photographs from global conferences. She took a slow sip of her morning coffee as her assistant, Maya, hurried in with a tablet full of notifications. "Your speech is being quoted everywhere," Maya said, breathless. "Universities are emailing nonstop. They want you as a guest lecturer. Civil rights groups want to collaborate. 3 international organizations asked for interviews. Even the mayor reached out personally." Naomi didn't react with shock or excitement. She simply nodded, deep in thought. "Good," she said. "Let's use this moment for something meaningful." Because to Naomi, the previous night wasn't just a scandal. It wasn't just about revenge or humiliation or even the billion-dollar fallout. It was about exposing a deeper problem, one that had been ignored for far too long. Instead of letting the moment fade into another dramatic headline, Naomi decided to transform it into a movement, one centered on ethics, accountability, and respect in high-level institutions. She instructed her team to draft proposals for stricter inclusivity guidelines in charity foundations, corporate boards, and public funding projects. She contacted advocacy groups, invited scholars to a roundtable discussion, and began a nationwide initiative encouraging transparency in philanthropic organizations. Meanwhile, the Kingsworth family was drowning in consequences. They attempted everything to repair their image. Press conferences filled with shaky apologies, staged charitable donations, carefully edited videos claiming misunderstanding. But nothing worked. The world had seen the truth in high definition and from 10 different camera angles. No amount of PR could erase the slap, the entitlement, or the look on Eleanor's face. Later that week, Naomi received an email from the museum director. His words were sincere, almost emotional. "Thank you for teaching them a lesson the world needed to see." Naomi typed her response slowly, thoughtfully. "They taught themselves. I just refused to stay silent." Because that was the truth. In the end, the slap meant to humiliate her became the spark that burned down a billion-dollar empire and lifted her voice onto a global stage. Her message reached millions. That respect isn't earned through prestige, money, or power. It's earned through how you treat people, especially the ones you think no one is watching. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful, emotional, and jaw-dropping stories every week. And make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next twist-filled episode. See you in the next video.